You make deposits in people's emotional bank accounts. Anything that you can do for them is a deposit. Not every day you're going to make deposits. Some days there's going to be withdrawals. Make as many deposits as you possibly can.
What are some of those things that you're seeing these days that is the carrot, the attraction that you're offering your employees, or you're seeing a lot of other people offer that might be different than, years ago?
When I was younger in the brick and mortar world, there was something in my age. It was called Eric School. It was basically one-on-one mentoring with me. It would always happen before 9 a.m. So made it less appealing to probably half the people. But the whole not losing the notion of mentoring, making sure that you have those touch points with as many people as you possibly can, not relying on the group Zoom, thinking that that's, a real life experience, having more activities outside of the office when and if you can. Not only giving the best technology that you could possibly get your hands on, but training on that technology so that everybody can use it. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'm seriously interested in, artificial intelligence and how that's going to change the workplace. It won't matter what the technology is. Computers were new 40 years ago. Email was a new phenomenon. The whole notion, 40 years later that, no, I don't need paper anymore. It's all, it's all on the computer. That's all new. But you need to give people all the tools that you can possibly give them. And, like with my employees, I did this with as many people as I possibly could. It was just another touch point. One employee buys a new house, a city person buys a new house and it snows. It's like, now what? We send them a snowblower. One employee wants to exercise at home. We send them a riding bike. We tried to give employees environments so that it would be, not only attractive to them, but so that they could, kind of feel the love of the company.
You found out something that they were interested in and then go out of your way to support that. That's pretty cool. Like doing something thoughtful for somebody, they appreciate it.
Look, this is in general about life, certainly as an employer, is you make deposits in people's emotional bank accounts. Anything that you can do for them is a deposit. Not every day you're going to make deposits. Some days there's going to be withdrawals. Make as many deposits as you possibly can. The whole notion of loyalty and longevity. And, there's the thing about loyalty, too, is that people, they got to be compensated a little bit better than anybody else would compensate them. Best you possibly can.
How would you coach maybe an insurance agent in leadership? And what are some of the things that you would focus on first?
My biggest book was on leadership. And one of the things that I found fascinating about leadership, and this was after September 11th, there was like 10 of us. We were Dick Grosso, he was the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. We were his guests in this royal conference room on, the top of the stock exchange, and it was a dinner. And we went around the table, and each one of us, and everybody in that room, except for me, kind of famous, you would know their last name. You got the soap and, their last name is the soap in your shower sort of thing. We went around the room and everybody said, what did you do? This was on September 11th. What did you do? Like, Dick Grosso had some crazy story. I mean, he had the world financial markets on his back if he doesn't get it up and running. And he's telling the story about going in the basement of the stock exchange, opening the door, and all the electric cords are dangling in the flood that's almost to the ceiling. They got to rehook up the whole stock exchange, otherwise the financial markets collapse. The story was fast. But as we went around the room, I realized like everybody had such a different story. It was that day that I decided to write the first leadership book that I wrote, because I wanted to find out, how do successful people do it? What are the common denominators? What's the magic formula? And the magic formula is there isn't one. I asked the same questions to everybody. There was 100 people that I interviewed for that book, and I got 100 different answers to every question that I asked. And every single person was interesting. Every single person was successful, and you would know all of them in that particular book, but they all did it differently. This is what I say about leadership is everybody says the buck starts on the leader's desk. I don't love what I do. By the way, I love what I do. If I don't love what I do, nobody who works for me is going to love it at all. Everything about the way that people feel about the work that we do, it starts with me. And that's the case no matter how small you are or how big you are. Positivity, optimism is very contagious. Your attitude is contagious. You wake up in the morning, you want to do, what you're doing for a living. I'm not being a cheerleader. I think working for a living would suck. I can't believe that I get paid for what I do. I can't believe it. It's like, I love this.
All the conversations, the exit conversations I've had with employees have all been geared in the last 2 years have all been geared around them not being happy, and you're not following what we're doing, and we love what we do. And if you don't love what you do, you got to find that, man. And usually that conversation leads to them exiting. I haven't had to fire anyone because of that.
You know, I mean, the thing is and it's not like I'm not, you know, I mean, I started a company when, you know, I was 22 years old. Truth be told, I wanted to wear sneakers to work, and all I needed to do was make sure I had rent and could cover the bar bill, sort of thing. Everybody had, I mean, realistically, you know, we got bills.
Yeah.
Everybody, so we got to make money somehow. But there is a way to make a living that isn't work.
Right.
You know, if you find your passion. And if you find your passion, you're never going to work a day in your life. It's so much better.